Okay, everybody, this is what you have been waiting so patiently for. It is time for us to run, jump, and BLJ into Super Mario 64 120-star race with EmiBella versus Niniste. Take it away and have fun. Y'all can feel free to introduce yourselves.
Oh, hi. My name is Emmy. I run Super Mario 64, mainly 120. And I'm super excited for the race today against Niniste.
Yes, hello, Emmy. Hello, everyone. I am Niniste, so I'm a French runner, as you can hear. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you so much, and I hope you'll enjoy it.
And lovely commentators who are both of you.
Yeah, I'm BlueBob. I commentate SM64. I'm also looking forward to the race here. It'll be a lot of fun.
And I'm Sabo. I do not commentate SM64. This is my commentator debut. Very excited to be here. I am an amateur runner of the game, though, so really looking forward to this race.
Fantastic. And just before we start, I want to say I'm really looking forward to both races because we have met the 16-star bonus race. Thank you all so, so much for getting us towards that milestone.
Congrats.
All right, so we can get started whenever you two are ready.
Okay, I am.
I'm ready.
Good luck, Emmy.
Good luck, Niniste.
Thank you. Enjoy.
Would you like one of us to count down? Or...
Yes, please.
Okay. French or English? I'll go English. All right, so on go, I guess.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
Good luck to both of them.
Mario.
Okay, so infamous 120-star speedrun we're starting with. As you can see, both of the runners are on the Japanese version of the game. It's a little bit faster in 120-star for a number of reasons. Text actually not being one of them, believe it or not. I know in most cases it's usually the reasons, but there's a couple little things we'll maybe point out kind of throughout the run as they come up. At the start here, they're going to be doing a trick called Lakitu Skip. You want to explain that, Sabo?
Sure. So in the beginning, generally when a player first touches this bridge, there will be a Lakitu that flies down and kind of gives you an introduction to the game. But if you are able to jump right along the edge of this railing here, like Emmy was able to, you can skip this, and it saves about 8 seconds. Unfortunately, Niniste did fall into the moat, which is a pretty significant time loss. I'm not sure exactly how much that'll be, but a little bit of a rough start there. And she also missed the skip here. So this is that text box I was talking about, and that's going to be about 8 seconds lost there.
So Emmy, yeah, start of this run, tons of tricks. Emmy just did one there called Bomb Clip. Really cool one, usually one of the ones people start with when they're learning the game. Basically, you throw the bomb, you jump, and if you grab it kind of right as it lands and it's exploding, the bomb expands. And if you grab it on one of those frames where it's expanded but not yet exploded, it pushes Mario backwards. As you can see there, and then if you throw it up against the fence there, you clip through and you can get the star without having to enrage the chainsaw.
Enrage it, yes. The basic strat for that is you ground pound the pole 3 times, it frees the chain chomp, there's a little cutscene, and then you can just go in and grab the star because he breaks the gate. Obviously, that takes a few seconds, so it's faster to do the bomb clip.
Emmy's doing another trick here. Just a gauntlet at the start. That one's called Owless. The normal strat is where you wake the owl from the tree, takes you up to the star, basically drop down on top of it. But if you do a pretty precise triple jump wall kick, you can actually clip into that little cage without having to enrage the owl.
Right, Emmy currently doing Cannonless, another, ooh, she missed it, but another very well-known trick. Normally the way that one would work is you have to get in a cannon, blast away that wall to then fall into the star. This trick has evolved countless times over the years, developed new techniques, new setups. It is done in 16, 70, and 120 star. It's a very quick star. Pretty difficult. A lot of resets do happen to it. There, Nini's got it perfectly. Emmy going for it a second time.
Nice.
Very good.
There we go.
Beautiful.
Womps
Emmy
is... Oh. No, go ahead, please. No, please.
Look at us both being so polite. Gauntlet of tricks done for Emmy. Niniste is going to the Womp King. Kind of a cool fight as well. I remember when I first found out you can just ground pound and go right through him there. That was pretty cool, but makes the fight actually a lot easier than it would be otherwise.
Yeah, there's a couple of interesting tricks we can pull off by just the fact that Mario can ground pound and then just sort of phase through things. Womp King here, just kind of a flashy trick, but while Niniste is grabbing that star, Emmy is working on the 100 coin in Womps, where she's also going to get the red coin star. This is another one of those stars that's just very... Ooh, missed that blue coin. Not a problem, there's a backup here. But this star also leads to lots of resets. It's a lot of easy mistakes that can happen, lose a lot of time. You could even fall off here and die. Womps is just that kind of, it's the early stage, it's super optimized. Runners are always going for a lot of risky strats just to try to save as much time as they can at the start.
Yeah, definitely some of the cooler stars. Like there's lots of tricks in the game, also all very cool. 100 coin stars generally involve a lot of, tight traversing, just optimized routing. There's some of the best stars in the game, in my opinion.
They're also very daunting for new runners. In 16 star, you don't collect any of the 100 coin stars. BlueBob, do you know how many you get in 70 star with like a beginner route?
There would be, I guess, anywhere from 2 to actually 3 to 4, generally, depending on which ones you pick. There's some that are kind of, if you do them well, can save a little bit of time over some easier stars. So, I don't know how you opt it, but Womps 100 is one that is also done in 70 star.
Yeah, Womps 100 is pretty hard to avoid. It's just a very fast star, even for a 100 coin. One that a lot of beginners would probably skip would be like TTC 100 in favor of something like SL Reds, but if you're gonna do 120 like this, you're just gonna have to learn everything eventually, so.
Yeah, you can't avoid anything in 120, it's all there.
As the developers intended.
Exactly. So Emmy wrapping up Womps, getting the Fortress star here. And Niniste, I believe, still has the Owl star left, so you'll see the other strategy here. Enraging the Owl there.
Enraging the... Yes.
Luckily, you get forgiven quite quickly and taken to the stars, so...
So both runners will now be heading into JRB, Jolly Roger Bay. This stage is a little on the slower side. There's a fair bit of downtime just due to the amount of swimming, which is a lot slower. Not really that much can go wrong here. It's just making sure you're hitting all your swims. I don't think either runner goes for frame walk or anything crazy like that, so should be a pretty straightforward stage.
Yeah, swimming, it's definitely an iceberg in terms of kind of the amount of depth you can get into for swimming quickly, but I'd say the two most kind of common things to really look for is to swim as fast as possible, you have to press A kind of in a certain rhythm. It's fairly lenient, but you do it so many times that it's really easy to miss a swim or just kind of mistime that press. And then otherwise, you're just trying to, take your corners as tight as possible and just kind of save the amount of distance you have to swim.
Yeah, another thing to bring up is this stage is quite laggy, which for Emmy on console is something that she's going to have to be dealing with pretty much the entire time she's in it. And you'll see some weird camera angles that she's doing while swimming around, and that does just complicate it and make it a lot harder to maintain that proper swim speed. She's going to have to be holding camera buttons down, making sure that she's pointing the camera at blank spaces, different sides, so she's not just getting a bunch of lag that slows her down. Just get the ship up there, which is nice.
And we get the chests in the ship. Luckily, always the same order. I always wondered if that was like randomized every run, how much worse this speedrun would be.
Oh, that would be terrible.
Me started out to do. There's some more chests coming up here. Luckily, always the same order. I honestly probably wouldn't even speedrun this game if that was randomized.
Oh, it would be terrible.
The last straw.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the game is already so stressful and punishing enough. Just that little extra on top would just push it over the edge.
Well, you know what isn't stressful? Donations. So whenever y'all are ready, I've got some.
Please go ahead.
Derby's a great time.
Fantastic. I've got $10 from Veparu, who says, "Courage LinearC in these difficult times. Big up to you and your loved ones. Thank you so much for your donation. We are donating towards LinearC because she has recently become a single mother and has accrued some unexpected debt because of that. So this is a mutual aid marathon. All of your donations are going towards a wonderful place." We also have $45 from Sarah with no comment, but thank you so much for your donation. And $1 from Fluxy5, who says, "Sorry, this is not a large amount of money, but I don't have lots." That is okay. Every single donation matters, and we value all of them. So thank you so much for sending in your donation. So generous and kind. And by the way, when you're sending in your donations, if you'd like to put them towards something, we have a bid war open right now between Dark Story and Hero Story for Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. Those are two totally different runs, in which the Hero Story features Sonic and the Dark Story features Shadow. So if you have a preference, definitely put your donation towards one of those options by selecting incentives.
Alright, so it looks like Emmy's starting the 100 coin right here, which isn't too terrible of a 100 coin. Like I mentioned earlier, it's just a little slow, and it actually works out since her and Niniste are pretty synced up right now, actually. There's a bit of a star difference, but they're both doing the 100 coin now. BlueBob, how did you feel when you were, if you can remember the ancient times when you were learning how to run 120? How do you remember approaching like JRB? Because I feel like a lot of runners kind of neglect it a little bit. They kind of get it to a workable state and then kind of move on to more flashy, more fun stages and stars. Did you feel that you neglected it as well, or did you actually spend some time kind of really grinding out good times?
No, I definitely neglected it. Yeah, I was anti-swimming for quite a while, but eventually it just kind of becomes some low-hanging fruit where you can save a bunch of time, just because JRB is one of those ones that's not fun, but if you just spend, like a weekend in JRB, you can probably save just a lot of time over some little things. Eventually, I bit the bullet there. Yeah, swimming, it's one of those things where, like, there are some parts that are surprisingly difficult, just like, getting coin rings, for example, can be a little bit technical. If you notice the red coins here that are in those clams, their hitbox extends just beyond the clams. So there's like a little sweet spot where you can just keep swimming and avoid getting hit by the clam while still getting the red. Just little things like that take a lot of time to kind of nail down, but once you do, it's generally a pretty high success rate.
Yeah, and that's exactly the kind of thing where I personally don't go for that yet because, you know, actually putting that into practice, taking the time to like load up JRB, swim around and do that, it's a lot of work. And, you know, it's a minimal gain, but it's the kind of thing that it eventually does add up. Like every second save does matter. There's 120 stars. All these small optimizations to the movement really do like catch up to you. And it is something that's often overlooked, especially JRB.
Yeah, absolutely. Both runners wrapping up their 100 coin here. I think Emmy's gonna have the cannon shot here, which this one's always really cool. You can the normal strategy is you shoot out of the cannon onto one of those little poles there, but you can actually just kind of glide along the wall. Actually, speaking of version differences, this is one of the spots where Japanese takes time because that star is just kind of chilling there. In the English version, it's sitting in a box, which takes about roughly 4 seconds to open. It's just kind of one of those little things that makes Japanese just a few seconds faster.
And that's another example of why, for instance, in 70 star it is preferred to run on the US version because the text is faster on US, but we don't go into JRB in 70 star. So something like that box versus the open star doesn't really matter at all for that run. So the optimization in terms of like what version you run the game on has all been calculated out exactly down to like the amount of frames that are saved in an optimal run. It's pretty crazy what people have been able to kind of work out. Sorry, please go ahead, sir.
We just saw Niniste get the star that typically would require the metal cap, but if kind of on the topic of the rhythm of swimming and maximizing your speed, you can actually have just enough speed to kind of push through the draft and get the star without requiring the metal cap.
It is also a little bit harder than it looks. The angle with which you have to hold the stick, if you are off a little bit, you can just kind of get pushed by the current and you will miss the star. You'll have to kind of turn around slowly, reline up the angle and everything. It can be pretty punishing. And there's another star similar to that later on in DDD. But yeah, Niniste exiting JRB now. Emmy doing the first slide star here. Niniste soon to follow.
Slide's always a fun one when you're new. It's one of the few areas in the game where a timer shows up, so runners are they'll work a lot harder to save that 0.1 on the slide than they will to save a minute in JRB, kind of on that previous topic.
Exactly. The kind of gold standard of a time for this is 12.6 seconds. There are some people in the community who make it a point to really learn Slide and optimize it, Lay Sauce being one of them. He can pretty easily get 12.5s and the occasional 12.4, which is very impressive. Niniste getting a 12.7, which is very nice as well.
You'll see what Emmy did and what Niniste is about to do as well. When you get any of the boxes, so we have the wing cap, the metal cap, and the vanish cap, when you activate the switch, basically when you land after that, a text box comes up asking if you want to save, basically, because you activated the switch and everything. But if you can get the star before you actually touch the ground again, then you can avoid that text box coming up. So that's kind of what people go for here. We'll see if... Yeah, so Niniste there did it nicely. It's a nice little time save. Emmy getting a 23.2, unfortunately.
23.2 is generally not what you want to see. Usually you try to do at least 10 seconds faster than that. So not sure exactly what happened there. I was busy watching Niniste excellent flying. But Emmy's going to try to redeem herself, going for a nice fast Dark World cycle here. And this for me, when I first started running the game, when I was learning 16 star, Dark World Reds was kind of a boogeyman. I never did Dark World no Reds in 16 star, but this is quite a stage to kind of learn. It's all about the movement. It's a pretty long stage, honestly, and it's very punishing. It is extremely easy to die, especially if you're kind of learning the game. You're not super familiar with Mario's movement and how slippery he is. It can be very punishing. It takes a long time to learn. This is something that people are always coming back to, always grinding, always having to practice.
Yeah, it's definitely a great one to practice when you're kind of newer because it's one of the few cycle-based stars. So all these kind of moving parts operate on a cycle. So every cycle you get, say, it's in and around 4 seconds. So definitely when you're newer, it's kind of nice to keep pushing for one cycle faster. And just kind of working towards that. It's definitely a great start of practice when you're newer to the game.
Yeah, it's got a lot of great fundamental movement, chaining everything together. It's difficult though, and nothing feels worse than kind of getting to Dark World. You're getting out of Womps, and then you just die, and you lose 15 to 20, 30 seconds, and it's just such a motivation killer for you.
Throw Niniste making it through as well.
I feel like Niniste is gaining a bit on Emmy here. It's getting a lot closer, it feels like.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Slide definitely helped there.
Yeah, that 23.7, you hate to see it.
There's so much time in this marathon of a race, to make up and lose time, and it's not over by any stretch.
No, a million things can go wrong in every stage, so it's anyone's game.
Especially in 120 star. The end of the run, which we'll definitely cover in detail when we get there, it's a gauntlet of just really difficult stars.
Yeah, Niniste definitely seems like she's really kind of warming up. Her movement's getting a lot cleaner. Definitely. Ooh, and Emmy missing the 4 wall kicks there, unfortunately. This is just more time for Niniste to make up. No pressure.
I think, by the way, chat already sped past our donation goal to get to that 16-star run. So I know they are itching for more. I know they are itching to race with Emmy and Niniste here. And we have heard you, and we have opened a new milestone incentive at $2,650 on the marathon. We will unlock the Tokyo DLC levels for Sonic X Shadow Generations in a couple of runs here. If you don't know what the Tokyo DLC levels are, they are levels based off of the new Sonic 3 movie, in which we get to not only see movie Shadow, but also hear voice lines from Keanu Reeves himself. So if we want to see Metroid Prime do those bonus levels as a bonus run after the Sonic X Shadow Generations run, we have to get to $2,650 on the whole marathon. I also cannot think of any better way for Mario fans to dunk on Sonic fans by meeting their incentive for them. So I would absolutely love to see some donations towards that. And you can also put your donations towards the bid war between Dark Story and Hero Story for Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, if you like. All donations go towards our Tokyo DLC levels incentive.
I'm very much looking forward to the 16-star race. I'm very glad that incentive was meant. 16-star is extremely... what word would you use, BlueBob? Volatile? Chaotic?
All of the above, yes. Volatile is a good one, for sure.
Especially in a no reset kind of scenario, it's a lot can go wrong. I mentioned earlier that runners will often use very risky strats, and in such a short run with 16-star, where both of our runners have pretty solid times, both around like that 16-17 minute mark. You do all the risky strats. If you reset 10 minutes in, it's no big deal. You can get back there as quickly as you can. It's not like you're an hour and a half into a run going for something that has like a 40% chance of working. So it's a lot of very flashy strats. It's very exciting to watch. So much can go wrong. It's going to be a great time. I feel like we haven't really talked too much about BOB, BlueBob. Is there anything of note you would want to bring attention to here?
Yeah, BOB's, I think the 100 coin is one of the coolest ones. I think it's one of the first instances of the run where you sort of deal with larger amounts of RNG. And that's by the standard of this game, where RNG isn't a massive factor compared to some other games. But if you notice the coin movement after you break boxes, kill an enemy, whatever it may be, the coins go in random directions. So it's definitely an interesting concept, because you have to kind of react to it and try to just map out your path as soon as you see where they're going. It can be pretty interesting. As you can see, Niniste, pretty rough RNG there, because so many coins went up on that slope.
Yeah.
Really well.
Unfortunately for her, the Koopa did kind of get a chance to run up there, so she had to chase that coin. Another difficult part about this 100 coin is the section Emmy is currently working on, which is the flying. Getting those rings and making sure you're getting as many coins as you can is very difficult. I believe she got 62 coins out of the sky, which is a pretty solid number to get. I believe the minimum is 57, but every coin above that you get just saves time, because you don't have to run around chasing other enemies or getting extra coins to make up for it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's this part here took a long time to kind of get down, because you go up and then you just kind of do like a blind, well, semi-blind turnaround as you aim for these coins, and it can be pretty tough to get a good amount, and all it takes is just being off by a tiny factor when you're flying and you miss several coins, and you're just leaving more in the hands of RNG later when you're at these poles like Emmy's doing here.
Yeah, the poles can be very difficult if they kind of throw the coins out in all 5 different directions. It can be quite annoying if they chase them down, especially if you need to get all 4 of the poles. This part can be pretty frustrating, and then he's having a little trouble with this box, which I do believe she does need. I think she had 59 coming out of the sky.
Yeah, took the box, jumped, and threw it just onto that slope.
Yeah, and she can skip. Yeah, she can get this Goomba, and she'll be fine with this coin count. She just needs every single one, I believe. When the coin gets stuck on the pole like that, it's a little frustrating. Ooh, then he says careful of the red coin star here. I have seen people accidentally collect the red coin star before they get the 100 coin, and that's just a run killer. This is a very long star. BOB is quite a long stage. It might not seem like it, because some of the stars are very quick. For instance, Bomb Clip. The last 2 stars most people do. The double Sky Jump stars. But the 100 coin is very slow. The Bomb King is also a pretty slow star. There's a lot of work you have to do for this stage. Niniste is doing a great job holding her own here still. She's grabbing the secret star now, which it looks like Emmy is having some trouble with.
Yeah, the cannon shot here is moderately precise. You have to aim a certain way to get all the coins, and all it takes is...
Oh yeah, go ahead.
As you say, being off by a little bit on your shot, unfortunately, just leads to having to turn around and try to get it, which is really tough.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, like, we line up the shot using the middle coin of that first ring. So if you collect it and then need to go back and redo the shot, you're kind of doing it a little blind. It can just make it that much harder to collect the secrets there.
All in all, I think their BOBs were pretty similar in timing. I think Niniste had a bit of a rough time in 100 coin. Emmy just did there with the secrets, but I think it all kind of balanced out. And...
So I actually, when they did Bomb King, I tried to do like some very rough math, and I believe Niniste was a little under 20 seconds behind. I think she was actually able to shorten that gap a little bit during BOB. It's very close. It is still anyone's race right now. And we are entering SSL, which is one of the most run killingest stages in the game. Some difficult tricks, very easy to die. One of the toughest 100 coins. And we'll just be able to see how both runners deal with this. Ooh, but first Denise missing nips there. Quick regrab though there. That's not terrible then.
Yeah, grabbing a microprocessor without interlock pipeline stages is definitely kind of tough, especially as a beginner. And if you miss the MIPS, you end up doing laps around the castle basement, which is tough.
Did you have to pause for a second there to look up what MIPS stood for?
I sure did. That's why I was a little late with it.
Nice.
Unfortunately, Emmy took a death, I believe, going for Pillarless here, which is quite a difficult trick. It's very finicky. It's something I've more recently been incorporating into 120 runs. It saves a lot of time, but it's very easy to take a death when doing it. It's at least, what, 1 frame perfect input? Maybe 2? I'm not sure. You have to get that specific large bomb. If you get a medium bomb or a small bomb, a medium bomb can work, but it's pretty slow. A small bomb cannot work. And Niniste getting it right there, very clean. But it's a tough trick. Like I said, the alternative is you have to run around and go on top of all 4 of the pillars in the stage, and that will break open. Oh my gosh, Emmy just got pushed off by the hands.
I just saw the tail end of that. Oh no, she looks perplexed.
He looks very confused.
She does. No.
Oh, we're gonna have to pull that up on the instant replay.
That's tough. Those hands. Well, she caught those hands. It happens.
The hands caught her.
Yeah.
Real.
I believe she nailed topless though, but then did not get the second time around. Oh no, that's terrible. Oh. All right, this is Niniste's chance to really kind of get a lead and start running away with it. Which it looks like she's coming around here and going for her IROC star herself.
Both of these runners rock, in my opinion.
Looks like Niniste is not going for a topless strat or backup, just taking the nice safe way around. Nice shot.
But this is another spot where Japanese save some time. In the English here, instead of 2 text boxes where the IROCs talk to you, for some reason they made it about 10 or 11. Just, I guess, a nice touch they wanted to add, but not for speedruns. It loses a good couple of seconds.
Yeah, it is a strange switch they made there, and also Niniste did miss one of the hits on that right IROC, so it's doing a little slammy slam. But she ends up finishing up the star, and she still has a little bit of a lead on Emmy here.
I'm seeing some love for Emmy in the chat. Thank you all so much.
Yeah, that's a tough time loss, but I'm sure she can bounce back.
Yeah, the heat of SSL causing a little bit of a meltdown for Emmy.
I guess that'll actually kind of be a good segue into a little bit kind of an idea around some of the routing that we do. It works out that what we do is also just kind of the fastest, but a lot of runners opt to try to get the basement section of the run done as soon as possible, because Shifting Sandland and the next one, Hazy Maze Cave, are 2 of the hardest stages in the game. They're both up there, so it actually saves a little bit of time to do Cool Mountain before going to basement, but a lot of runners would rather just get there sooner. Just kind of that 5 minutes of getting to basement faster makes it less painful when you reset to basement.
Yeah, that's a good point about the Cool Mountain. Doing that early, like you said, does save time. I don't know any runners currently doing it. I believe Aaron was doing it at one point, a Japanese runner. I might be mixing him up with someone else though, but it is quite rare to see just because it's not a long stage, but like you said, it does just kind of get in the way of potentially resetting sooner to a much more difficult and punishing stage like SSL or Hazy Maze Cave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Shifting Sandland, it has 2 stars. The 100 coin and the red coin star are both some of the hardest stars in the entire run. So one stage having multiple kind of stars that are really at the top end in difficulty makes it, I think a lot of runners think of it as either the hardest stage in the game or top, I'd say 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm. I do want to call out Niniste just had a very cool kill on that fly guy by kicking the bob-on into it, which was a very quick looking play right there.
Oh, really? I missed that. Darn.
Both runners doing the 100 coin, which, as you mentioned, was very difficult, punishing. This is one of those stars that, as someone more recent to learning 120, I dreaded this star. This and BOB 100 were both kind of nightmare stars to learn. It's just so much movement, so many things can go wrong. Any star that has wing cap, you're on a timer. You only have so much time to make sure you're doing the movement. And if you mess up, you could die here. If you run out of cap, you could fall into quicksand. It's very punishing. And something that you can try to do is, go get another cap, but then you're kind of changing up the route on yourself. You're losing a lot of time. You could be losing 10 seconds or something like that. It's just one of those things where you really have to put a lot of time in to get as good at the star as these runners are showing us right now.
Yeah, and as much as the outside of the pyramid is technical, a lot of the biggest complaints about Super Mario 64 are the camera, and some of the areas where the camera is kind of at its worst are in these kind of enclosed areas. It just doesn't always act intuitively. So the pyramid, and then later in Shifting Sandland when they're in the igloo,
yeah,
the camera's just really tough there. So it just kind of adds to everything.
So both runners are almost perfectly synced up right now. Niniste does have a 1-star lead right now, but this is a very close 100 point right now.
Absolutely, yeah. It's and the last star that Emmy has to get is one of the quickest in the run.
Yes, this is a very, very close race. You love to see it. Give some entertainment for the viewers. Hopefully the 16-star race can be just as exciting.
I'm sure it will be.
Emmy missing the star there right at the end. Oh, I'm not sure what she blocked. Oh, having a little bit of trouble getting out of the sand here, but he'll be out of... Oh,
this is
I'm not going to say anything.
This is a perfect example of the camera. You can see how the camera's just kind of panning on its own there while she was moving.
Yeah, that is fun.
Sometimes when that happens, oh, okay. Mario will just go a completely different direction than what you're holding on the joystick, just because the camera isn't really sure what it's doing. And I could tell that was exactly one of those cases there for Emmy. And as if Shifting Sandland isn't enough, right after that you have HMC 100, which Niniste is doing. Also considered one of the hardest stars in the game. That being said, I don't know. I guess it is, but since I've started running Mario back in the Stone Age, some stars that were, I guess, not considered super difficult back in the day have kind of had updates to them or route changes or things that have made them a lot harder. This star has been largely the same throughout my whole time, with the exception of a couple of little additions.
So, BlueBob, what are your thoughts? Because Niniste is doing this route right here, where you grab this eye in the room, which skips the BLJ on the elevator. Is that... I'm not sure exactly on the timeline of when this was a more common strat to do. This is more of a beginner-friendly strat. However, I did find it ultimately a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, it has some parts that are kind of technical in its own way. Like killing these eyes can actually be really tough just because you don't have a ton of room to work with. The BLJ, which we'll see Emmy do shortly, is it's also very difficult, and it's also punishing to mess up.
Yeah, it's quite a time loss if you have to redo the BLJ. Luckily, it's not terribly difficult. It is just one of those things where you can go months without messing it up, and then one day something will just not work, and then you'll be messing it up every run for like 2 weeks. And there's just no rhyme or reason to it. But you'll see here, Emmy's about to do it right now on this elevator. No pressure. Oh,
she took a ledge grab there.
So unfortunately, when that happens, you just have to come back down here, wait for the elevator to drop down again, and just give it another attempt. If the viewers were paying attention to Niniste, she also came into this room just to grab the 5 coins that were on the ground, and then she just leaves and grabs some of these bats in here to make up some of the lost coins. A little too early on the triple jump there.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is a really tough trick and very punishing to mess up too.
Well, while she attempts this amazing trick, oh, there we go. Very nice. Beautiful. I just want to let chat know that we have a really close bid war as well as a really close 120-star race. Dark Story is only ahead of Hero Story by $5 for Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. So chat, if we've got some Sonic fans in chat, let's donate for Hero Story. Let's get that ahead. Or if you love Shadow, go ahead and donate towards that Dark Story. And every single one of your donations goes toward our Tokyo DLC bonus run levels incentive for Sonic X Shadow Generations. Can we get to 2,500 by the end of this run? I think Mario fans can do it. Let's put a dent in that Sonic incentive and show them why Mario is the best.
Emmy getting a nice Emmy coin there. The blue coin dropped down from the platform, which is definitely helpful.
Excellent. That does save a bit of time.
Sabo, what are you thinking between Sonic and Shadow?
I'm not sure. It's been a while since I played many of the Sonic games, but I don't know. I always like Shadow. Ever since Shadow the Hedgehog, I think that was GameCube, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I think that was good.
I played a couple of Sonic games. Oh, I mean, messing up the Toxic Maze BLJ, unfortunately. But yeah, do you have strong opinions on Sonic?
I don't. I was actually going to pick just the opposite of what you did to spark some controversy.
Yes, we can create some beef among the commentators here.
Yeah.
Fuel the drama. Let's do it.
It's actually very difficult to be at odds with BlueBob. He's such a gentle-hearted Canadian. Just very easy to get along with.
That's what I go for, so I'm glad to hear I'm moderately successful there. So Emmy's going to be going for the Toxic Maze BLJ again. This trick is really difficult. It saves about 7 seconds if done well over the regular strat. Let's see if she can get it here.
Oh,
nice.
There it is. Good ending too there.
So you basically have to long jump onto that elevator and then preserve your long jumping while it goes upward, which takes some really fast mashing. And then you have to kind of hold back at the right time to start building up speed and kind of get stuck on that little floor. And if you build enough speed, you can carry it through, clip through a couple of walls, and actually a few walls, and then get right to the star there.
Now, BlueBob, I have a question for you. When would you recommend someone go for that strat in their PB attempts? Like what PB should someone have in 120 star when they should begin going for a Toxic Maze BLJ?
My personal opinion is probably around like a 135 would probably be a good time.
See, I would agree with something like that. That seems appropriate. And he's been incorporating this strategy in her runs since, oh god, I don't know, definitely before she had a sub 2. Like she was probably like a 215-ish, I want to say, when she was doing it. She likes the flashy tricks. Very difficult trick right there.
But the satisfaction of pulling it off sometimes beats the disappointment of failing it.
Yes, and Denise just showcased what the trick or what the star looks like without doing the trick. Excellent save from Emmy there.
That was really close. There's actually, like, the death barrier there starts just above that wall, so there's times where you get that wall kick, but then it still just fades out and you die.
I've had that happen to me before. I didn't know at the time that the death wall extended up so high. I was very confused and felt very scammed.
Yeah, this game has a tendency to do that sometimes.
We are getting very close to the end here for HMC. Then he's still holding a bit of a lead.
So the metal cap here, the only time you actually need the metal cap is here when you're getting the star for it. So if you're fast enough, you can actually just completely avoid activating the switch and just get the star. It's pretty tight. You generally have maybe a second or two of leeway to get it. So nice little time save there.
It does save a fair bit of time just because if you do have to get the switch, you're going to have to get that text box again. You're going to have to go get another metal cap. And it's a little out of the way. It's definitely a few seconds there that adds up. All right. Oh, Emmy missing box triple, but she's just going to skip it. And Denise entering LLL here. Lethal Lava Land, or in the Japanese version, Fire Bubble Land.
Oh, that's preferable. I wish it stayed that. Yeah, Fire Bubble Land is one of the. It's a little bit easier. It's definitely a nice kind of breath of fresh air after SSL and HMC. Still room for some major mistakes, but the stars are generally kind of easier to pull off.
It's a lot of short stars as well.
Yeah, for sure.
The juxtaposition of, you know, a fiery lava field like this being a kind of relaxing break has always been funny to me. You get out of, you know, just a cave and everything, like, ah, yes, the lava world. I get to relax a little bit here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's as a result of that, it's definitely one of the more frustrating stages to reset in, because there's times where it's like, oh, you just made it through all the hardest stages, then you get here and you know you messed up something that's generally considered easier, but it happens to everyone.
Yeah, Nini's currently getting the bully star. This can be one of the most frustrating ones. Getting the kill on all three of those bullies, it can go bad very quickly, and then you'll be scrambling around getting bullied by the bullies. But she was able to almost get a triple kill there on them, but got the third one very cleanly. It's a close race here, though. Could go either way. The 100 coin for this is a fun one, since you have to ride the shell around before entering the volcano. And one of the worst things to happen is you break the shell early on. You could get burnt, you could run it into some of the geometry in the level, and that can be a very brutal time loss. Oftentimes it's faster to just kind of take a death and retry. Hopefully neither of our runners break their shell, but we will have to wait and see.
Yeah, so LL's, I guess, a little bit less to talk about some of the other stages, so if the host has anything to add, that would be a great time if you want to.
Oh, absolutely. I would love to tell everybody about what we are doing here. Lifeline for Linear is a mutual aid marathon raising money for fellow speedrunner LinearC, who recently became a single mother and has accrued a lot of unexpected debt. In response, her friends and community have come together to represent 5 days of amazing speedruns in her support. If you want to help Linear directly, you can donate using !donate in chat. LinearC is an incredible community member in many speedrunning communities, including Frame Fatales and Lady Arcaders, and is always willing to lend a hand to anyone who needs help. And so we are extending that help back to her in her time of need. So every single one of your donations goes directly to LinearC. This is a mutual aid marathon. So it's amazing to be here working for this and knowing that every donation goes exactly to a person who really needs it. Also, I want to remind everybody that we have our Tokyo DLC bonus levels incentive open right now for Sonic X Shadow Generations. That would be bonus levels where we get to see the Tokyo levels from the Sonic 3 movie, sort of recreated, and we get to not only see Movie Shadow, but hear Keanu Reeves voice him as well. So that would be super, super great to get unlocked. Every single one of your donations goes towards that, and we need $2,650 by the end of Sonic X Shadow Generations to do it. So can we get $2,500 on the marathon in this run? I would absolutely love to see that. And make sure to put your donation towards one of our bid war options for Sonic Adventure 2 Battle as well. Again, I really want to see some donations with Sonic versus Shadow, or Mario versus Sonic, or whatever else you'd like me to go ahead and read out for you. Love to hear your opinions and wonderful donations.
Awesome. So Niniste just wrapping up LOL 100, and Emmy just about to make her way into the volcano here. So things have been pretty clean here on both sides.
Yeah, I didn't notice any mishaps. Ooh, Emmy taking a little bit of a burn here, but that's not that big of a deal. Only lost probably like 2 or 3 seconds.
Yeah, luckily this star's a little more... Oh, okay. A little more forgiving than some of the other 100 coins. There's a lot of nice like backup coins if you miss something. Yeah, there's some 100 coins where you can only miss, you know, maybe 1 or 2 coins, or else you lose a ton of time. And this one, luckily, there's kind of coins, you know, scattered throughout that you can get. So
It looks like Niniste grabbing the second MIPS star here before heading over to the Vanish Cap stage. Gotta drain the moat first. Revenge for when she fell in at the start.
that's all right. And he's about to go for the second MIPS grab. This one, there's a... Oh, unfortunately, he went to the wrong direction. But nice little backup there. So Niniste going through Vanish Cap. One of the more technical cap grabbing stages for sure. As we kind of talked about during the wing cap, where you can activate the switch, and then if you get the star before touching the ground, you can avoid the text box. There's a more difficult one here. We'll see if Niniste goes for it.
Yeah, this is one of those stars where, again, the platforms here are on a cycle. It's important to kind of be moving quickly to get to them, so it all times out nicely for you. However, the stage really can kind of just... Oh, she almost gets it there. That was very close. You can take your time with the stage. It's very risky. If you die here, it kind of spits you back out into the moat area a little bit, but it can be very punishing. It's, like you said, a technically demanding stage.
Yeah, these elevators, if you make a mistake and you kind of catch yourself in the wrong part of the cycle, it can, you end up just kind of MacGyvering your movement, and it's can lead to horrible things. We'll see if Emmy gets the text box skip here. Nicely done.
Oh, that's pretty rare for her, actually. No offense, Emmy, but... Alright, now both runners are entering into Cool Mountain here. This is that stage we were talking about earlier that some runners like to do before they go to basement. But it's a relatively chill stage. Don't you agree, BlueBob?
Nice pun.
Oh, thank you.
But no, it actually is in both matters. It is a chill stage. Basically, there's one room for kind of major errors here, but generally, you know, if you don't make that major mistake, runners don't generally lose a ton of time here. A couple little things that can be done, but the most notorious or infamous part of this stage is racing the penguin. If you lose the race, you gotta go all the way back up, restart it. Major time loss, or of course, if you fall off the slide, that's also far from ideal.
It is very punishing, and the fact that we do it while collecting like 100 coins, it's very easy for the penguin to kind of push you out of the way of the coins you're trying to collect, and then you still are gonna have to do the race over again. It's significant time loss. I think it's as bad as about 40-50 seconds or something, I think.
Yeah, at least. There's a couple different options. Like there's a few different routes that runners do. At the top level, they do a route where you can't miss any coins on the slide. There's a route that's about a second slower where you can miss one coin, and then there's a few different kind of safety coins you can get to give you more leeway on the slide.
However, you also have to be careful not to get too many coins too early on the slide, because if the star spawns too far up, it can be a significant time loss to kind of work your way back up to collect the star.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's kind of two main spots where runners tend to possibly miss a coin. It was right before that jump that Niniste did, and there's kind of an archway of coins there. It's easy to jump too early and miss one, or not jump high enough. There could be some issues there, but Niniste gets it with 101, which is perfectly fine. You can long jump right to the star with that.
Spawning the star, like finishing the slide with 100 or 101 is ideal. You don't have to do any weird slow movement to grab the star. It's just one long jump like that, nice and easy. And both runners are still quite close here. A little harder to tell since the star order has been a little bit different. He's going for reds. This was one of those stars that it doesn't look as difficult as it is, in my opinion at least. I have found the red coin star, it's trickier than you might expect. Like the movement, to do it quickly. Like it's not like a difference of like, oh, it's going to take you 2 minutes if you're slow versus like 40 seconds if you're fast. But just getting all this movement very clean is surprisingly difficult. Fast movement can be a little scary. You have the option of potentially sliding off to your death off the side of the mountain. And it's also a star that's not done in 70 stars. So for a lot of first time 120 runners, it is a brand new star, brand new movement. It can be a little bit of a mountain to climb.
Sabo is on fire with these puns here. 2 in 1 stage. That's incredible.
I'm gonna have to start rationing myself.
Doing it big like nobody else has. I would welcome some pun donations, by the way. I'd love to get it.
That's a great idea. See what everyone's got.
So Niniste is doing the snowman's head star now. I'm not sure what she has left after this, BlueBob. I'm not sure if you are aware. Usually this is done last, which is why I'm a little unsure.
You're right, yeah. It could be wall kicks will work.
That's true.
All I'm saying is I haven't seen a wall kicks will work. But I
Wait, what happened to Emmy with this 100 coin?
She unfortunately did not jump at the part where you have to jump for an arch of coins. So
usually most runners have to chant jump early, jump early, jump early to themselves, and that usually helps, but unfortunately she will have to do the race again here after grabbing this backup red coin.
Yeah, so it's you have to go back up to the top. A bit of an uphill battle.
Ah, I see. Oh, Niniste with some nice movement there for wall kicks will work.
No.
Oh, well.
Unfortunately, not quite jumping high enough to get up to the top of the mountain to get into the chimney.
So Emmy's got to finish up this race, grab that star, and then grab the snowman's head star. Meanwhile, Niniste heading into Big Boo's haunt here. A very spooky, scary stage with the infamous piano that scared many of us in our childhoods.
Absolutely. Everybody prepare yourselves. This is another one of those stages actually where the camera can be kind of tough. It's very different in this stage compared to a lot of the other ones. You basically have the two options between Lakitu cam and then Mario cam, denoted by the picture on the bottom right. But in BBH, kind of depending on the room you're in, the camera's just kind of in a fixed position.
Yeah, it's the only stage with that behavior, if I recall correctly, where at least the majority of it is spent inside, so you have that fixed camera viewpoint.
Mm-hmm.
Very jarring.
Yeah, it's one thing that's kind of difficult in this game to grasp is depth perception. I mean, in cases where you can't really move the camera to give yourself a better view at something, it can make things a little bit awkward at times.
Yeah, depth perception is something that's very difficult to kind of get used to in this game. Not even just in this stage, just in the entire game. The camera, I've heard a lot of runners describe it as actually moving Mario is about 40% of the game, and moving the camera is the other 60%. It's a whole beast unto itself. Not only just like for the sake of, you know, seeing what you're doing, but also when you add in lag reduction, making sure you're pointing the camera where you should be to avoid unnecessary loading. It can be a lot of work.
For sure. Yeah, and being comfortable with the camera can sometimes make it easier to move Mario as well. They can definitely complement each other. Emmy's wrapping up CCM here. Unfortunately, a couple mistakes in 100 coin that kind of snowballed. But she has made it out on her way to BBH here.
And he's doing Ghost Hunt right now. Usually you see most runners tackle the star first. I don't believe it really matters too much for star order, but...
No, you're kind of forced into slight star order here, where you just have to do this star before the 100 coin. Because when you're doing Ghost Hunt, every time you kill a boo, as you're about to see here with Emmy, there's a text box that comes up. So once you select star 2 or higher, there's no text box. So you don't want to do 100 coin first, then just kind of have a bunch of extra stuff to read.
Yeah, exactly. 10 text boxes versus 5. About to fight Boss Boo. Then he's working on 100 bike. Doing a pretty safe route, it looks like. This right here, I guess I can call it the pro strat, where you grab the Vanish Cap, come out here, you kill these 2 bugs, grab this box of coins. This is one of the most unforgiving timing windows, I find. It's extremely difficult to actually get all this done and get back in time, kill these 2 boos, and go through the wall. So you see Niniste killing the boost before she goes out, so it's a little bit more forgiving. She still handled that very well. It's very difficult, though.
Oh, no.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's one of the more punishing mistakes if you get locked out. Yeah, Niniste making it back in time. Yeah, killing those boos beforehand gives you a little bit more leeway too, which is definitely helpful.
Here you see Emmy doing it kind of more normal way. Oh, she kind of had a little mix up there, that punch. Even something as minor as that little punch and kind of getting a strange angle coming in, that's enough so she knows, just go back, get another cap. It's not worth risking it. Yeah. The unfortunate part is while you're out there, you're dealing with some RNG. Like all of these coins are random in where they disperse. So since you only have a tiny amount of leeway, even just bad RNG can sometimes be all it takes. And especially because of the situation you're in, bad RNG just causes panic, which generally isn't a helpful thing in a speedrun. So, and this is... Oh, sorry, please. No.
You've been such a gentleman this whole time. I'm going to let you go first.
Ah, very well. Thank you. Going back to an earlier point you made about a lot of these 100 coin routes being pretty unforgiving on the amount of coins you can get in each section of it. that outside section in the BBH 100 coin, you can only miss 2 coins. And when you have 2 bugs, and those coins can fly anywhere, so you need to make sure you're getting most of them. Then the box is usually a bit more consistent. It's easier to make sure you're getting all the coins out of the box. But those bugs, sometimes the coins can just, they have a mind of their own. I think you were going to mention something about Niniste there?
Oh yeah, I was just pointing out she was wrapping up 100 coin at the time. Now making her way down to the merry-go-round. Some of the more iconic music in the game. So with these boos, as soon as they come out of the wall, they actually have a little bit of invincibility, so you want to stand a bit of a distance away. Once you kill 5, big fella comes out, and then you deal with him, and then there's a star. That's one of the... Oh.
No. I just went. You go, please.
Alrighty. Thank you so much. With the boos, sometimes if you maybe ground pound too early or you miss the hitbox, a maximum of 2 can come out of the wall at once. And if you do miss one, it can definitely cause a bit of a panic because you're trying to kill the first one while the second one's coming out. And if you get kind of chasing 2 boos around, things can go bad real quick there.
Yeah, that's another one of those stars where when you see these runners do it, they make it look so easy, it's so clean. Oh, they're just standing there, they're ground pounding, like this looks easy. But it's like you said, like it's good spacing, you have to worry about that invincibility time. And if, like you said, if any boos survive, then you have 2 that you're dealing with. You might accidentally be phasing them in and out if you're looking at them. It can run off the rails very quickly. I'm trying to think of a merry-go-round pun I could have made there, but I don't have anything.
That's right.
Not enough
Maybe they'll
puns
come
to
to
go
you later.
around, huh?
No. Oh, no.
Sorry.
Oh, that was good.
I love puns too.
Right,
You know what else I love? I have
Oh.
I have an idea for a chat real quick, if I may.
Absolutely.
First of all, both of you are the most polite people I've ever been on mic with. This is fantastic. Second of all, I think for this 120 star race at 1 hour and 20 minutes, because good number. What if chat each donated $5 and told me your favorite level in Super Mario 64 and, speedrunning or otherwise. Tell me why you love it. I would love to hear those donations. So get your $5 ready, get your donations comments ready, and send that in at 1 hour and 20 minutes on the marathon. Well, on this round. Thank you.
BlueBob, what would you say your favorite stage is? Not necessarily from like speedrunning, but just in general.
Yeah, from a nostalgia standpoint, for some reason, Wet Dry World.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say, actually.
I remember as a kid, I didn't know that the water level would change depending on the height that you entered the painting.
Mm-hmm.
So I spent hours trying to figure out how to get downtown. And I never figured it out as a kid. But I eventually kind of replayed the game. And kind of as a teenager, I'd kind of come back and play it, once a year or something. And that's when we had YouTube to kind of look up guides and stuff. And I found out what you could do. And I remember it just being groundbreaking to me.
That was definitely something we struggled with way back in the day, We are a little ancient, prehistoric, however you want to put it. I remember we would go over to each other's houses and we would just be trying to figure out all the weird stuff in the game. And we spent hours in Wet Dry World trying to get downtown. I believe we accidentally put the water on high one time, but we had no idea why it happened. We knew it wasn't completely random, that you had to do something, but that was so cool to see it and see the downtown, and our minds were blown. And then we struggled to get that back every time.
That is how it is.
Yeah, it looks like Emmy's about to dive right into dire docks here.
Keeping it going.
This is for a beginner. I feel like this is probably the worst 100 coin if you do this strat without the poles.
Absolutely.
I think in my first 120 run, I had practiced the star a bit, and it still took me about 15 minutes to do this 100 coin. It's brutal. It's unforgiving. The triple jump dive to get that 7th red. 7? No, 8th red? Yeah. 8th red. Terrible. I fell in over and over. It's a lot. You really need to pour considerable effort into this. And kind of going back to like the talk about JRB and swimming, it's something that it's not fun to practice for most people, but it is something that you just have to do. You have to put in the time to make sure you're getting these coins efficiently, or you're just going to be losing lots and lots of time that is pretty free.
Yeah, no, absolutely. This star is by far one of the biggest struggles for beginners for that. Mainly that triple jump that you mentioned. We'll see. I mean, get to it. Niniste made it look really easy. It's really difficult. And also getting onto the sub from the front is equally difficult. So as a beginner, when you miss that triple jump, you have to also go back and do front sub again every time. So it's just, yeah, a really tough one. We'll see Emmy getting that section here. She's going to have to do front sub twice because unfortunately dove
That
into the middle there instead of kicking. Yeah. So this here, you have a little lip where the sub is low enough that you can jump again once you're on, and you have to then carry that speed and jump dive up, which is pretty difficult.
Hallie does an interesting strat here where he doesn't actually fall into the water. I've always liked how he gets that last red coin there. I'm not sure how much time. I'm not sure. Is it a time save? Is it a time loss? It's got to be very, very close, but it does avoid having to front sub there at all. Ooh, Emmy missing that triple jump dive, which is unfortunate. So she gets to do it, another time.
Yeah, I just wanted to show front sub off. But yeah, the route that Callie does, it's actually a little bit slower in game time, but it's also a little bit less laggy. Emmy gets it there, nice. You have to be right on the edge of the sub when you do that triple jump, and if you're even one Mario away from the edge, you're not gonna have enough distance to get up there. So second try, still
it's
not
a
too bad there.
very precise angle. In fact, my first 120 run that I did was actually a race against Emmy. While I was attempting it, I actually had Green Sweegie, come up behind me and offer some advice to me while I was trying to do it. It was mortifying. I was embarrassing myself. It was humbling, and Emmy would not let me, have him just do it for me, since I was going to submit that run to SRC as my first 120 PB. I forget my time, but it was around like the 3-hour mark, I want to say.
I'm glad to see you bounce back from it, and I've since done more runs.
It was tough. I knew there was so much time save baked in. It was a good time. The first run being that race, because it was actually like at a speedrun event, it was very chaotic. There's lots of people kind of going around, lots of talking, lots of noise, people breaking lights. It was a whole ordeal.
Sounds like far from ideal
chaotic.
conditions.
Yeah.
I know. I'm surprised I did as well as I did, but I'm not sure what my second run was. It was probably like about 25, 30 minutes faster, so it was definitely distracting to say the least.
I remember my first run, I had dinosaurs all around me. It was a lot too.
In your cave.
Yeah. They actually discovered fire. You could see it in the webcam in the background as I was doing the run.
Good times.
Yeah.
Alright, Emmy grabbing the substar here.
next up, actually, I think both runners are going to be going into Fire Sea. A little different star counts, but
Yeah. I was about to bring up that Niniste is doing a little bit of a different route here, where she actually finished up DDD before going into Fire Sea. Whereas most runners kind of do it how Emmy does, where it's like partway through, you come to Fire Sea, and then you knock out the last couple stars of DDD after you finish the stage.
yeah, it's technically faster to do DDD, or sorry, Fire Sea last like this, like Niniste's. But on N64, the submarine goes away, or sorry, the submarine goes away after you do Fire Sea. And on N64, it causes a ton of lag. So to do it...
Oh, Niniste missing the cycle.
I had to go back and catch it.
Okay. But there are some very difficult lag reductions you can do on N64 to make it easier, but most runners just don't really bother, because it saves a minimal amount of time for a ton of added difficulty, and all it takes is one little mistake or even just not really reducing enough lag.
Yeah.
And then you're breaking even or losing time, so...
Now, is DDD with the sub spawn, is that the laggiest stage?
I think so. There's a couple areas in Rainbow Ride that are extremely laggy. Same with JRB, but DDD's definitely right up there. Somebody hitting the throw there. Made up a bit of time there in Fire Sea.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Did she get boost Ellie's there?
I'll be honest, I'm not terribly sure myself. And he's hitting the throw as well. Fire Sea has the easiest throw because you're closest to the bomb, but it's also the most punishing to miss, because Bowser jumps back on the stage and then it... Ooh, dabbing.
Nice.
Nicely done, Niniste. Good form.
So here you'll see kind of that divergence happen with the runs where Emmy is going back into DDD, Niniste is going to re-enter Fire Sea just to exit out, and now she is heading upstairs.
Yeah, going upstairs is a point in the run. This is kind of what people call a big benchmark in the run, is your uptime, which is when you touch that door. It's kind of the part where, you know, if somebody gets a good uptime, you know, generally their stream's getting posted in Discords and everyone's being told, like, come watch, you know, this runner just got this uptime. It gives you a good idea of what pace you're on and kind of how your run's shaping up here. Upstairs is, overall, I'd say, kind of one of the more punishing parts of the run, and one of the more difficult kind of sections as a whole. It's right up there with basement.
I also want to let chat know we've got 5 minutes until we want to send in that $5 donation train at 1 hour and 20 minutes with your favorite Super Mario 64 level, if you'd like to put a donation comment in. So ready those donations, get ready to hit them. Hit that submit button right at that time. And you can also put your donation towards a bid war option if you like. We have Sonic Adventure 2 Battle Bid War between Hero Story and Dark Story. Right now, Dark Story is only ahead by $5, so you can change the tides of that with one single donation and tie it up, or you can extend Dark Story's lead. Whatever you would like to choose, go ahead and hit incentives at the bottom of that page and click the bid war option you would like. Every single donation goes towards our Tokyo DLC bonus levels as well.
On that note, Satan, we never asked you what your favorite SM64 level is.
Oh, I've never actually played SM64, although I do own it, so that is sacrilege. I will need to do that at some point in my life. However, I've watched my good fair share of runs. I would say, I would say, TikTok Clock is probably my favorite. It's really interesting and kind of brutal, but I think it's just such a creative level, and it spawned one of my favorite Mario Kart tracks, so that's what I'm going to say.
Yes.
I love that track so much.
Oh, so good. It's super underrated. Mario Kart DS, just one of my favorite games ever.
I'd like to touch base with you after you play the game and see if TikTok Clock is still your favorite stage.
I might not be. I've heard. But as a Mario Kart lover, I'll go with that for now.
So BlueBob, I'm not sure if you noticed, but Niniste did do 100 coin plus secrets in this, which very, very common for people who do 70 star first. There are two popular 100 coin routes here. In 70 star, we do 100 coin plus secrets. In 120, it's technically a bit faster to do the 100 coin plus reds, which is in the downtown area. Most runners kind of take a little while to, I guess, upgrade to 100 coin plus reds. How was that for you, BlueBob? Like, when did you make that switch over?
Yeah, it definitely, it is kind of one of those ones because you do 70 for so long, you get used to it, and then it's about 6 to 8 seconds faster. I forget the actual number at this point, to do 100 plus reds. A little more technical, I would say, as well. So it's, when did I switch? That's a good question. I think it was around when I had like a 155 to 153 range. But yeah, honestly, again, that was so long ago. It was probably around 8 years ago.
Oh,
I was kind of around that that time frame, but definitely, it's a really fun star. Similar to, it's a really movement-based technical star to do 100 plus reds. So it's one of those ones you sink a weekend into it, or you just, it's really fun to just improve your times and keep working at.
yeah, because I'm watching Niniste do just the reds movement now, and it's pretty clean. I actually really enjoy it. Very smooth. Obviously, it's something she's practiced a fair bit. I've personally never done like the just reds. When I did 120, I immediately switched over to the 100 coin plus reds instead of doing secrets, just because I was all about just ripping the band-aid off and doing like the optimal thing as soon as possible, even though, and at the moment, it definitely was slower for me to do that. But that's always a question I'm curious about for people, because some people are very aggressive with updating strats, doing harder things, and other runners are a lot more conservative and want to kind of keep doing what they know, what they have that's consistent. Because ultimately, with such a long category as 120, consistency is what's gonna make you a better runner, and it's something that's very hard to build up.
For sure, yeah. I think, and I'm really going to be aging myself here, I'm not remembering 100%, but I think that when I started, I don't know if any runners really did 100 plus reds. It was kind of one of those things where it's like, unless you're at the top, don't even bother with it, was the mindset at the time, which has definitely changed over the years. I definitely, yeah, I'm more for kind of biting the bullet on one like that, where the risk isn't really massive to switch. It's just kind of taking time to get comfortable with it.
Yeah, that's a good way to kind of look at it, where if it's just a difference on time invested, like you're not upgrading, like say Toxic Maze BLJ to pull something, or even Carpetless, like these things that are very inherently risky strats that if they go wrong, you are losing a lot of time, and it might not justify the time save over a safe strat. But something like switching to the more optimal reds route, when, yeah, like you said, you take a weekend, just grind it out, and you'll get them pretty close. That's a pretty safe bet, I think. And then he's heading into Tiny Huge Island now.
Oh, that one is also one of my favorites.
I was just about to say, now that I'm thinking of this stage, I actually have a lot of nostalgia for this one as well. I spent a lot of time here, just exploring, and I thought it was really cool, similar to how in like Super Mario Brothers 3, where there's that that one world that's, you're just a different size. I thought this was a cool kind of way to do it in a 3D game. They implemented it really well.
I feel like, I'm not sure if you guys, or BlueBob, if you had a similar experience with when you were younger playing. I feel like we spent most of our time upstairs in those stages.
Yeah, I definitely have most of my memories there. I remember thinking I was a genius when I found SL in the mirror.
Yeah.
And I spent a long time trying to see if I could get through that mirror. and onto the other side, but I was never so lucky.
There was lots of trying to break the game. I had a similar feeling about SSL, since that's just kind of like a nondescript wall in the basement. But I hated SSL so much as a kid. All the quicksand, and I remember going into the pyramid vaguely, but only like once or twice probably.
Yeah, I don't know if I ever made it into the pyramid. I know as a kid I did not get 120 stars. I think I capped out around like 90.
Oh, I know I didn't get close to 120. It was probably around like 80 or 90.
I also want to say, we did indeed get that train rolling. We've got $10 from Decourt Rec. That is 2 tickets for that $5 train. Thank you so much for sending that in right at that 1 hour and 20-minute mark. But that does not mean it is too late to send in your donation. Go ahead and use !donate in chat to get your donation to LinearC, who needs the help after she's unexpectedly become a single mother recently. So we are doing all we can to help her. So $5 with your favorite Super Mario 64 level, that's 1 ticket to the train. Let's get donating.
All right, Emmy is right on Nini's heels here.
Niniste, bit of a struggle on the beach. That's one of the more potentially aggravating areas of THI 100. When you get to the beach there's a Lakitu and a Fly Guy. This Goomba's not always the nicest either, but basically you have to lure them both to you and kill them and then get all the coins. And sometimes they just don't behave, or if you mess up at all, then you're chasing them around, and it's sometimes coins go in the water. It's just, it can turn into a real mess.
Yeah, it's one of those times where there is a way to kind of line it up and kind of get them to kind of approach at the same time, but if you miss it, you kind of have to improv it. There's not really like good clean backups to my knowledge to, you know, kill them both and have the coins be in like a great spot, because if they go deep in the water and you have to swim after them, it's significant time loss.
Luckily, then you
I'll
made it
take
through
this
the
one.
cave. Oh, sorry, that was rude.
That's-
of me. You go ahead.
It's quite all right. I forgive you, but yeah, Nini's making it through the cave. No, the cave is another scary part. Dying in the cave during the 100 coin is soul crushing. It's so much lost time, and I'm at the point where I'm still doing very scared, cautious movement in that cave. But seeing these runners kind of, you know, fly around it, and yeah, it's fine, no big deal. The practice movement inspires me.
They
Yeah,
are
the little
really incredible.
islands in the cave are just big enough that you can squeeze in some dives and rollouts to get through it faster, and it leaves little room for error, and one of the biggest time losses you can take if you do die in that cave, because you got to do the entire 100 coin again.
You're back on this beach with the Fly Guy and the Lakitu. Terrible. Emmy having a little trouble getting the Lakitu here, but she'll get it right there. Decent enough coins. Only one kind of fell in the water.
Yeah, there's 2 routes for this. Two options for this route of THI 100, where when the island's small, you can get a couple extra coins, and then you have a couple coins of leeway here. And it loses only about 4 seconds. So a lot of runners value the kind of consistency of having a bit of time to lose. But, you know, some coins to work with.
Yeah, Emmy unfortunately getting a punch there right at the start, which kind of threw off her movement. And that's something that a lot of runners have to get good. Oh, that was a little scary there too. But if you kind of like mess up the beginning of some movement, most of the time it's better to just kind of abandon ship and figure out some backup than try to force the movement. Because forcing the movement, especially in something as dangerous as this cave, could very easily lead to a mistimed jump, a missed rollout, and you could just die, and, you know, there goes a minute of time. Really Let's see, it looks like Niniste is grabbing the box star up here. Or Wiggler, maybe. Nope. Oh, race.
Yeah.
Could have sworn I'd already seen her do the race, but I am seeing things.
I'm also seeing in chat so much love for both of these runners, by the way. Both of them are just getting so much support. This is really, really cool to see. And once again, we've still got time in this race. We have no idea who's going to win this. So let's keep cheering for both of them.
Absolutely. No, both runners are doing great. It's definitely tough in a race. It's a different feeling than when you're on a run. You know, there's some things that are kind of trivial in runs that you don't think about too much because you can just reset. But you know, in a race, you're committed. So it can be a bit of an adjustment in terms of how you're feeling while you're doing it, which can make it pretty difficult. So both runners are doing really well.
Yeah, it's been a great showing. Love the back and forth. It's just been a very close race. I know that Emmy has a little bit of a card up her sleeve in that she will be going for carpetless unless she's changed her mind. But that is about a 50-second time save. I'm not sure if Niniste does carpetless. Most runners at this level aren't, so we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, carpetless, a fairly recent development in the grand scheme of things. It was kind of the white whale of SM64 speedruns throughout the entirety of the game. Basically, in Rainbow Ride, you ride a carpet in the 100 coin because there's a star on top of the big house, and the carpet takes quite a while. You're on it for a while, and runners were always trying to find a way to see if you could skip the carpet, and there was always one way that was so incredibly difficult that it took one runner weeks and weeks of trying, just with a Game Shark where you can reset the level and keep doing it before they got it. That was a big deal in itself. Runners eventually kept practicing, trying to get better at it, and eventually, right as some runners were starting to get it to the point where maybe they would, consider doing it on a run if the run was like, maybe 20 seconds behind their record, and they might be able to kind of fluke one and save that time. Then they came out with a setup. There was a setup found that it makes it feasible and now kind of mandatory at the top level. But it's still incredibly difficult, incredibly punishing. You have to do multiple frame perfect inputs, and if you miss any of them, you just die, and your run dies.
It's a very unforgiving trick. Like we were talking about earlier, there are some things that are very risky but offer great time save, and that is kind of like the granddaddy of all those tricks.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's one of the last stars in the entire run. So it's really. It actually brought me back to the game after a really long extended break because I was just so excited about it, and it really kind of put a nice breath of fresh air into the run for me. We'll definitely add some more context once Emmy gets there because I'm sure that she'll give it a try.
Also, we've got a $1 donation from Rafa7 Bordeaux. Thank you so much for that $1. It goes towards LinearC and also towards that Tokyo DLC bid incentive levels for Sonic X Shadow Generations. If we meet that, Metroid Prime will play bonus levels that feature Movie Shadow and Keanu Reeves voicing Movie Shadow. So if you want to see that, go ahead and get your donation, and every single donation counts towards that incentive. We need $2,650 on the marathon. We are a little over 200 on that, so while we have a little time before that run, we really got to get that moving. We are starting to get into the time where we need to start racing these runners and winning the races against these runners for meeting those incentives. And if you'd like, go ahead and select a bid war option for Sonic Adventure 2 Battle when you donate as well. We still have Dark Story in the lead with only $5. That is easily changeable. Or we can just put Shadow in the lead even more. Why not? I know we've got Shadow fans.
It seems like... Oh, please. I've spoken over you too many times.
Oh, thank you. both runners in Tall Mountain now. This stage is... It's an interesting one. A lot of runners consider it to be very difficult. It's one of those ones where I don't think there's any star in the stage that is incredibly difficult or kind of at the top of the list. But almost every star is somewhat difficult. And every star kind of has an aspect where it can be punishing in one way or another, which just makes it really tough to kind of do the whole thing.
Yeah, a lot of movement needs to be executed very well.
Yeah, makes use of a lot of cool mechanics in the game. Most notably is Mountain Clip, which we're about to see Emmy do. Really glad I didn't jinx it on her there. Basically, there's a little slit in the mountain there that you can jump dive, and Mario will just clip right through it. And then when you land in the water, it warps you up to the higher kind of pool of water there. Because basically the game assumes that if you're landing in water, you should be landing in from the top, because they didn't really think that you would be able to enter any water from the bottom. So they programmed it that way, and as a result, it just warps you right up, which is really good. We make use of that actually 3 times in the run.
Unfortunately, Emmy did miss the monkey glitch there. It looked like her spacing on the jumps was a little weird at the end there, but that not too much of a time loss in this race because Niniste did not go for the trick, so not a bad thing for Emmy. She's not losing time, but it would have been nice to get that save a little bit of time and make up this difference. Since Niniste is now finishing up TTM.
I also remember as a kid, all those other paintings on the wall. I always tried jumping into them, wondering if there'd be another stage there. But...
Oh, yes, we certainly gave Mario a concussion, slamming his head into every painting we could find.
Yeah, definitely a broken nose.
I honestly don't think when I was younger, me and my friends, I don't know if we ever found the aquarium entrance in the JRB room.
Oh no, yeah, that's definitely a hidden one. That's for sure.
Yeah, there's because we knew you know, about like metal cap, vanish cap. We always thought like, you know, there might be like one of those kind of one-off stages places, but we would just search everywhere and hope for the best. And going back to the RNG in this game, Niniste is currently doing probably the most RNG heavy star in the run, which is the SL100 star. It's pretty brutal. BlueBob, I'll let you illuminate us in terms of what this star entails.
Absolutely, yeah. So almost every coin that you collect in this star is from killing an enemy, which has RNG. It also has, like we talked about in SSL, where you're in the igloo. Camera here is just horrid. You can see what's happening with Niniste right now. You can hardly see where you're going. It's really awkward. Mario doesn't always go the direction you're holding. Couple that with some RNG, it's just not a good time. There's also 2 what are called money bags in this stage that you kill. They give 5 coins, and I guess I don't know if the values that they can kind of have for RNG differ, but sometimes coins can just go in every direction at various speeds, and it's very RNG heavy. A lot of the practice in this is almost just learning to react as well as you can.
Yeah, this is definitely not a star where it's like you're drilling the same movement over and over. It is just kind of being able to think on the fly, reacting to where the money bags are kind of spitting their coins. You'll see Niniste here is about to kill one, and for whatever reason, they just kind of launch very far upwards. They get a lot of velocity, and you just have to kind of chase them down compared to other enemies. But overall, this was a pretty solid 100 coin. No mishaps. A lot of things can go wrong on this star, but she was able to handle it pretty well. I spoke a little too soon there, but that's not too big a deal. She can just grab this backup snowman here for 2 coins, and she'll be out of here.
Nice.
doing it.
Yeah, no, that star has potential to go a lot worse. So she did really well there.
Yeah, the rest of the stars in the stage are a lot more straightforward. A couple of them are downright easy, but it does have the worst 100 coin in the run.
Yeah, it's one of those ones. In 70 star, I really enjoy SL because you do almost every star except for 100. But the 100 coin is so bad that in 120 star as a whole, I don't even really like the entire stage. Like it cancels the rest out.
Yeah,
And then some.
absolutely. Right, it's still close for us, only a 2-star difference here. For Emmy, it's going to come down to a hopefully very clean 100 coin here. Niniste is just kind of going through, picking up these easier stars.
Actually, Deep Freeze. That is 1 star I remember I could not get as a kid. The maze was too complex for me at the time.
I have similar memories of difficulty with it, and it's just funny now that it's like a 6-second star. You know what you're doing with that triple jump.
Yeah, it really is oversimplified now.
All right, looks like Emmy getting started on the 100 coin right now.
Yeah, that RNG was... I mean, actually not terribly bad, because 2 of the coins kind of went in the same direction she was going, but definitely a big spread. Sometimes if they're in the wrong direction, it's just horrible.
Yeah, she reacted well to that. Kind of knew that those 2 coins would be grabbable after a little bit. Inside the igloo, like you mentioned before, the camera's just brutal, but it's not very RNG heavy inside here. I'll look at that camera though, that's exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah.
It can just get stuck on a wall and you can't see anything that's going on. Right, and now Niniste is heading up to Tippy.
The SM64 community, very creative with their naming, their nomenclature. We are at the tippy top of the castle, so it's called Tippy.
Ah, well, there you go.
And a lot of the tricks you've probably noticed are named just whatever you do normally, and then less.
Cannonless, pillarless,
Owlless, topless.
you know, we're a descriptive bunch.
Yeah. We're too focused on optimizing.
Exactly.
Couldn't spend time naming.
We're speedrunning a English conversation.
Exactly. But yeah, Cloud Stage here. This is a tricky
Great
one.
point. Yeah, Cloud Stage is very scary because if you actually fall here, you spawn out on the castle grounds, and that is a significant time lost. You have to run all the way back into the castle, climb up the stairs twice, get back to Tippy. Emmy having a pretty clean 100 though for SL 100.
Yeah, absolutely. Got 2 very quick stars left, and then she'll be making her way up to Tippy as well. Do you think we'll see a Wilco clip?
I'm hoping she'll go for it, but in my experience, 120 rubbers, they never really get Wilco.
I have heard that through the grapevine.
Yeah, looks like Emmy having a little bit of trouble with the deep freeze. But once she finishes off the bully here, she'll be making her way up to Tippy as well.
Alrighty. Denise going into TikTok clock, luckily back up and running. I know it was down there for an evening and it got banned, but TikTok clock is fully operational again.
Starting with the 100 coin here. Hitting the angle for that wall kick is quite difficult.
Yeah, you need a specific one to be able to wall kick, but also have like a wide enough angle that you can get up there and ledge grab. That was a
Oh, that camera was quite scary.
Yeah. Need to stay calm and just kind of reset it there. Very punishing stage here. We're kind of at the point in the run now where all it takes is tiny little movement errors and you just die. So almost any mistake in these stages is a big mistake. So.
Yeah, and he's doing pretty well here. Definitely playing it a little safe, but everything's looking good. She will be able to finish this star up. And besides the 100 coin, I find most TTC stars they're quick at least. They can be a little unforgiving, like you said, if one small mistake can lead to a death and just significant time loss. But yeah, overall, I do like TTC. It's brutal, but it's fun. The movement's very fun. It's one of those stages where you just have to drill the movement. You got to get the muscle memory down, and it's very satisfying to get a clean TTC split in a run.
Absolutely, yeah. And he's just wrapping up the cloud stage. Grab that red very nicely. There's a very small window there where you can grab that red without grabbing the pole that it's under. So she positioned herself well there.
That was very precise.
If we had an official name for it, it would probably be poleless. So
we should get that implemented shortly. I'll submit it to the patent office.
Oh,
Yeah.
Thank you.
The council will agree.
Oh, that's right.
Also-
Oh, sorry.
No,
Please
go
go.
ahead.
I was
Okay, I
just
just
gonna say
wanted
that.
to.
No,
Who's
please.
on first? No, go ahead.
Nope, I've learned my lesson.
Okay, I just wanted to let chat know a little bit more about why we're here. We are supporting a fellow community member, LinearC, actually streaming on her channel right now. And she is an amazing speedrunner involved in so many speedrunning communities and is always willing to lend a hand. And recently she's become a single mother unexpectedly, and being a single mother can be really, really hard. According to the US Census Bureau, out of about 10 million single-parent families with children under the age of 18, more than 70% were headed by single mothers. A third reported experiencing financial hardship. Single mothers earn an income that placed them well below married couples in the income ladder, and the median income for families led by a single mother in 2023 was significantly lower than the median for married couples. We're here speedrunning and raising money to help Linear make ends meet, and you can help by typing !donate in chat. So it's a really tough thing to go through, and we are here to lend a hand to our fellow community members. So every donation goes straight towards making her life better, towards helping her and her son Ken, and yeah, I'm really excited that we're all here helping together.
So it's getting a bit closer. I've noticed that Niniste does everything in TTC stopped, which definitely makes things a little bit more consistent, a little bit safer. It is a touch slower though. So Emmy will be able to make a bit of time. She unfortunately took a death earlier, which not ideal, but she's moving the man. Mario is moving. And, you know, Rainbow Ride is a very scary stage. Obviously, we have Carpeless. But even besides that, the 100 coin is very demanding. A lot can go wrong. And I'm not sure. How do you think this race is going to pan out, BlueBob?
Yeah, a lot of question marks still in the air. I think Carpeless is probably the biggest of them, but yeah, we're at that point again where any mistake's a big one. So you know, the difference, although 3 stars really is maybe just a minute and change. They're all kind of quick stars too, so really could go either direction. Niniste is on her way to Rainbow Ride.
Yeah,
And,
Carpetless is going to be the big thing here.
Absolutely.
Luckily for us and everyone in the chat who wants to see a close race, Emmy thrives under pressure. In fact, she generally performs better with all this hype around her, especially if she can hear us talking. This isn't something she's very used to. I'm sure she appreciates that. Oh, Niniste going for... Oh, missing the Lakitu bounce there, unfortunately. Grabbing tricky triangles as a backup here.
Lack-2 bounce, tough trick, but luckily there's a good few backups. Just kind of go do some other stars, which is good.
That is the nice thing about it. At least we're not... Well, Niniste will have to do it twice because she's not doing carpetless, but we'll see what she can pull off.
Yeah, gets it there.
Oh.
Okay,
very
I didn't
nice.
speak too soon. Yeah, so there's kind of two parts of that trick. There's bouncing on the Lack-2, which you have to lure it correctly and then kind of wall kick and bounce on it at the right height. Then once you're on the slope, you have to jump at the right time and start jump kicking your way up. One thing about it is that the moment you land on the slope, you actually have to wait a few frames before Mario will jump. So it's so easy to fall just because you press A little bit too early, even at a time that, you know, visually would make sense to do so.
Yeah, it's a little difficult to kind of learn that. And another thing is, Niniste didn't do it there, but oftentimes you'll kind of grab the pole at a very low point, and then you have to mash A to hold on to the pole, otherwise Mario will just kind of drop off of it. And I believe you need to mash it like 2 consecutive frames in a row to get him to grab it. And luckily she was high enough up on the pole that didn't happen. And I know Emmy will intentionally go higher up on the slope before grabbing the pole to avoid having to do that, since it can be kind of difficult, and like losing the trick to that is just very frustrating. Emmy finishing up ATC any second now.
And she does carpetless first usually. She's a rare one that does. A lot of people save it for last because they don't want to get it, be all nervous for the rest of Rainbow Ride. Emmy has nerves of steel and just does it first.
I don't know if it's nerves of steel or if her nerves are just broken, because she says that when she gets it, she just feels relaxed. It's like, it's done. It's a big relief. You can kind of just focus on like the rest of the stars, and you know, if that works for her, sure.
All right, I'll try and give a breakdown of what's going to happen here. So basically, to get to carpetless, you work your way up to this warp, and then you move over to the window in the building. You'll see shortly. The first tricky part is getting to the window. You have to do some kind of tricky movement here, and most notably, there's a long jump wall kick right here. You have to have a wide enough angle, and you have to get basically a second frame wall kick. From here, you do a specific setup to get yourself in a certain position with a certain angle, and then you do a triple jump, and you get what's called a glitchy wall kick, which basically moves Mario in a different direction than a standard wall kick would. Just gonna see what she does here. Oh, so close. After you get that glitchy wall kick, depending on which frame wall kick you got, there's a different setup that you do where you do different inputs at different frames, and you basically pause buffer your way through them. If you get any single frame wrong, or you miss a pause buffer or anything, you die. Pause buffering is really tough in and itself because you basically have to press A and then start one frame later if you want to advance one frame, or 2, etc. Unfortunately, I mean, it didn't quite have the angle there to get the wall kick. The easiest frame wall kick and what you aim for the glitchy wall kick is a 4th frame. Because that one, you have 2 pauses or 2 kind of specific parts where you change your input. But if you get a 3rd frame wall kick, for example, then it's still doable, but you actually have a mandatory 1 frame pause buffer, which is really difficult. If you mess that up at all, or sometimes you press A and start on the same frame, or you wait 2 frames, or anything like that, you just die. There's nothing you can do about it.
It's very punishing, very difficult. One of my favorite things about the trick, though, is to just see how people hold the controllers differently. Everyone has their own unique grips for it. Ah.
Yeah.
Taking another death, unfortunately. It's very unforgiving, and it's one of those things where most people, you either get it the first time, or it's going to take you a few times to get it.
Yeah, it definitely is really punishing, and the fact that it's right at the end of the run. It either kills your run, or you get it and you keep going. My PB actually died to Carpulus, but I guess I'm just still at a point where I kind of came back from a break and still at a bit of a low-hanging fruit PB because of the amount of time it saves.
Yeah, it's very high risk, high reward. It's unfortunate. It's the kind of thing where once you put it in one of your runs, in one of your PBs, you kind of have to keep going for it because it's just so much time. Ooh, Nani's taking a death on swinging in the breeze there. That strat is technically the beginner strat, but I think most runners find it a little bit more difficult. I'm not sure if she tries to go for... Okay, yeah, she does try to do the more advanced strat.
And he just got Carpulus, made it up.
Oh, perfect.
Wow, that was beautiful.
Yeah, really nicely done. I respect going for it, especially in a race setting. That's difficult. So nice to show that off.
Yeah, chat got to see it. That's fantastic.
It is a crazy trick for sure. I'm not sure. Does Ninis just have reds now? Yeah, looks like it.
Yeah, reds and then on to Bowser in the Sky.
I do love it when they're close to synced on screen, even if they have star counts.
Yeah, that is nice.
Always makes me happy to see.
So Niniste going into Bits, Bowser in the Sky, the last Bowser stage. Probably the least punishing of the 3 Bowser stages, but it's also the one where if you're on PB pace, you're nervous. So that's a completely different factor to add in.
True. I think overall there's not too many extremely difficult parts to Bits, but you're right, just the nerves at this point if you're on a PB pace run. Oh, that was one part I was going to mention. That triple jump dive right at the beginning, it's something that once you kind of learn it, it feels easy until all of a sudden it just doesn't work in a run.
Yeah, you gotta fully commit, and if you fail it, you pass away. There's no way around it, basically. See if she can get it here the second time. That's a nice hit.
Making up for that first Bits attempt. This is a lot cleaner. An interesting
Imagine playing with
here.
this camera, though. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
usually that's not what you'll see. I think keeping it like that makes it a little bit easier to kind of hold the stick to the right there. You don't have to worry about a stranger angle, but it means you're kind of running blind.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Very clean. Okay, that was good. She had to wait there a little bit. Just, again, talking about moving platforms and cycles in the stage. Ooh, a little sketchy there, but I have to make sure that, yeah, it's good. Because falling here could actually, it could either kill you or send you all the way back to the very start. These Goombas here can be quite annoying. They can get in your way, knock you off. Just has to grab this final star here. Ooh, good little dive there, a little scary.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was risky. Very good.
Double throws. And Emmy just pulled off a newer version of Lakitu skip called Buttless, which is a little bit harder, but it saves a couple of seconds. You don't actually have to wall kick off the slope. But we got some throws from Niniste.
Oh, was that hit? No,
Oh, it was
close.
close, yeah.
We're getting there, though.
Yeah,
Oh my
missing
goodness.
one throw like that can kind of throw off the rest of them. But she recovering well here. I think Emmy is lost track of her star counter, unfortunately.
Yeah, I guess to make up for it, she's gonna have to do 19 stars in the upcoming race.
Yeah, that's the rule. But Niniste finishing off that third throw.
Nice
And all
throws.
she has to do is grab the final star here, and that will be the end of the race.
Oh my goodness.
Very nice. GG Niniste.
You done.
All right. That is a win for Niniste. Well done.
Yeah, that race was bien, as Niniste would say.
Yeah, nice sub too. Really well done.
No, GG's to both the runners. Both runners played really well.
Emmy, you can finish the run if you want, if you would like.
Oh,
Go
no, that's
Emmy!
okay.
Go, 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 Emmy!
I don't want to finish it.
You can do it!
Please, GG.
GG, Emmy.
All right, that's okay. It's whatever you like to do.
Okay, perfect. GG, it was fun.
GG. That was super fun.
GG, yay.
I don't know
we're
if I
not
took.
done though.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna just comment on
No,
my
go
carpet list.
ahead.
I don't know if the commentators caught this, but because I took you guys out of my ears for carpet list, I actually had the right frame for carpet list, but I completely blanked. So there are two different setups for fourth frame. There's fourth frame regular and fourth frame backup. I'm so used to doing fourth frame backup where the very last frame is one extra frame. So I was doing fourth frame regular and I was actually on the right frame. And I was like, no, I need to advance one more frame. So that's why that got messed up for anybody wondering. I just had a complete brain fart. So, but it was still super fun.
Yeah, it was very, very nice.
Glad
Very
you still got to pull one
impressive,
off.
The carpet list.
Yeah, I know it was great to see it. Both of you pulled off great tricks, and that was awesome.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the Carpulus in the 16-star race now.
Speaking of that 16-star race, definitely get that set up because I'm
Yes.
sure chat is ready to see that.
I'm just going to erase I think I was saving, so I'm going to erase my file.
Mario.
I just need to switch off my emulator and switch on again.
Should be good. Chat, while we wait for this 16-star race to get set up, this is a perfect time to go ahead and type !donate in chat and go ahead and put your donation towards one of those bid war options. We've got Hero Story and Dark Story for Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, which is in only 2 runs, so you do not have a lot of time to get your donations in for that. Those are 2 entirely different runs. The Dark Story featuring Shadow and the Hero Story featuring Sonic. So that you know, I know we have Sonic fans, I know we have Shadow fans. Also, Tails, Knuckles, Rouge, and Eggman feature too, with the first 2 featuring in the Hero Story and the second 2 featuring the Dark Story. So if you're a Tails fan, if you're a Rouge fan, sound off in your donation and apply it towards your favorite story. I would love to see that bid war get hype. Dark Story is only ahead by $5, so it's really, really close. It is anyone's game, just like the 16-star race is about to be. So let's go ahead and get to it.
Okay. Ready when you are.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay.
Commentators, you want to count down?
Sure. On go. So 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Me, Mario.
All right, so 16 star.
The classic beginner's entry point to Super Mario 64 speedrunning.
Absolutely. No, this is a great starter run. I remember when I learned it still, over 10 years ago at this point. I still remember I spent a couple hours learning it and did my first run all in the same day. It's just a nice kind of bite-sized, easy to learn, easy to pick up run, and then you can kind of start adding more difficulty to it as you go.
It is. There's a lot of nice route options. You can kind of swap out stars, swap out different strategies. And I do want to call out that there's this infamous video. It's a tutorial of a beginner 16-star run by our very own BlueBob that a lot of people credit with kind of getting them into speedrunning this game. He made 2 videos, actually, one for 16-star, one for 70-star, and both are just fantastic videos. They helped me, they helped a lot of my friends, people I know kind of learn the game, learn stars. So thank you for that, BlueBob. You've done a great service to the community.
That's flattering. Thank you. It is no, really cool to see how much that's helped people. One thing that I've really enjoyed is I actually went back and read some of the comments recently, and there's some runners who are posting like, oh, I just did my first run and I got a 25 or whatever it may be. And, I'll see, and those are runners that are now, you know, top level runners in the game, and it's just really cool to see that.
Yeah, so a big thing with 16-star is it's a very fast run. These stars are just optimized. The runners are getting the shortest, easiest ones they can. There are 2 kind of major route options for it. Both these runners are doing the slower option, but the stars involved are a bit easier. The faster option involves kind of doing a BLJ trick to get to the Dark World stage, the first Bowser, right at the beginning. If you do that, it saves a fair bit of time, but the stars you can get are a lot trickier, but faster. Ooh, Niniste Alice right there, but not too big of a deal. Has to make up a little bit of time, but yeah, this is a more beginner-friendly kind of route that you'll see most people doing.
So Niniste get cannonless there first try. So we'll see if Emmy can get that. Should almost cancel out the Alice.
And he's getting walking here. Ooh, Niniste cannonless, unfortunately, but she can get Wild Blue here as a relatively quick backup. There we go. Now, this is a category where the seconds really do matter. It's going to be a very close race. Even right now, within the same stage, they can be at the same star count, but because of the difference in which stars they've gotten, it can be kind of hard to tell like just how far ahead or behind someone might be. For example, the Womp King star is quite slow. There's a lot of text boxes involved, and Emmy's a little bit further behind than it might look because of that. But it still could be anyone's race. Niniste waking the owl here.
Oh, I guess Wild Blue probably still left. It's been so long since I've done 16. I'm trying to remember the route.
I know. I was trying to think as well. Like, oh, what stars are they each missing? But yeah, because Emmy just has to get Tower now, so it's relatively quick. But yeah, you're kind of seeing that lead that Niniste has right here, because she would be now exiting Womps and going over to Cool Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
You will only be grabbing 2 stars out of the stage.
Nice
I feel
kinda
like chat has
recovery.
opinions on this. Maybe if you want to put in your donation what your favorite single star is from 16 stars specifically. That could be kind of cool. I'd like to hear that.
Oh, uh-oh. Oh, Nini's having some trouble with the baby penguin here. This is kind of not too much time lost, but like I said, like it's such a short category. Every second counts. That's definitely not the worst way the star can go, but that does give Emmy a little bit of room to catch up here.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, little mistakes in this are definitely magnified a lot more than in 120. Emmy going for the pro wall kicks will work.
Ooh. Not too
Important
bad.
wall
Not too
kick
bad.
worked, lovely. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely closing the gap a little bit.
Denise with a very clean wall kicks will work. And she will be heading over to Dark World now. Very scary.
Yeah, Dark World is such a massive part of 16. Kind of as mentioned, where it's cycle based. It cycles, you know, around 4 seconds or so. That 4 seconds is a much bigger deal in 16 than it is in 120. So every cycle can definitely make a difference.
Yeah, and trying to go for as quick that early of a cycle as you can get, it's just inherently risky. A lot of runs will be dying here just due to a death. Denise with some, I believe that was backup movement there. And since this isn't 120 star, you don't have to get every single star. A lot of runners, when they first start, do not get the red coin star in this, which is totally valid. It is definitely a little bit slower and less efficient, but it's a lot easier of a strategy, and you're less likely to die when doing this stage.
Absolutely. So Denise got, I'm gonna say normal cycle
I think it was normal, yeah.
per chance. Yeah. Emmy lying here.
Oh,
Safely, respectfully, or I respect that she decided to wait there. That would have been a risk to go for that faster cycle. It was kind of right at the tail end, so good
I
call.
believe she still got normal cycle though.
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, that was a very close throw for Denise.
Mhm.
But just look how close these two runners are right now.
Yeah, wow.
One throw apart.
No Bowser dance for Emmy. Solid throw there. Now to basement already. So jumping right into SSL here. Luckily, 2 pretty easy stars in this route. Gotta grab the Talon star and the top of the pyramid.
Yeah, Talon's definitely difficult as a beginner, but once you get it down, it becomes semi-trivial. But runners of every level still mess it up every once in a while.
Yeah, it's one of those, it's a bit on a timer. It's definitely got some wiggle room if you're kind of going for like the standard strat. Oh, actually, I'm not familiar with Nini's route here.
She may be doing logless.
Oh, interesting.
So this strat saves about 3 seconds over the Talon, and nicely done. It's a tricky wall kick.
She makes that look so easy, but that is a pretty precise angle she has to get for that wall kick.
Yeah, if your angle's too, if you're facing too much towards the wall, then you don't ledge grab, and if you're facing too far to the side, then you just don't wall kick. So she made that look a lot easier than it was.
Yeah. Emmy finishing up in SSL now, and she's going to come into LLL and grab the star that Niniste is currently doing, the red coins.
Well, both runners are bringing these hard tricks today to show everybody. This is awesome.
Absolutely.
Once we get over to Nip's clip, that is quite a little trick that is the core of the 16-star run. BlueBob, I'm not sure you are the historian here among us, so if you'd like to kind of go into that, I'll allow it.
Sure. Yeah, so as speedruns were kind of starting in this game, this was kind of the first, I'd say, real kind of game-changing one, or the one that really allowed you to kind of sequence break. We'll see Niniste going for it shortly, but it allows you to get into Fire Sea and into the second Bowser before you actually have 30 stars to unlock the door. Use the bunny to actually clip through a couple of doors, and then that's kind of what makes the 16-star run actually possible. We'll get there actually quite shortly here, but it's kind of interesting. You just go into the very sides of the doors with the right angle, and then you just kind of draw nips, and then it puts you kind of partway through the door and lets you grab nips and then go around.
It is worth mentioning that it can be a little scary because it's possible when you're kind of clipping through the 30-star door, you can drop nips through the door while Mario remains outside of it, and that just kind of ends the run for you.
Yeah, that definitely can happen. So you see she's lining up to a very specific spot, and then she can turn around, grab nips, punched and went right through the door. That's really cool there. So she did it here, and then she's going to do the same thing. There's another one. There's a faster one you can do here where you actually just jump and do a glitchy wall kick.
Oh,
just like that. Yeah, at the very side of the door. You just clip right through. So no, really nicely executed there.
And you get to watch Emmy
hers now. Yeah.
She's through the door. Perfect. And that's kind of a more traditional kind of, I don't want to say beginner, but a more straightforward way to get through the door without the glitchy wall kick.
Yeah, a little more forgiving, for sure.
Yeah. Getting through that door is a lot easier. The 30-star door is easier than the earlier door, but it does have that risk of dropping nips and then kind of just ending the run. And now the rest of the run... Oh, sorry, BlueBob, please.
Oh, you go ahead. I was just going to say entering Fire Sea.
Yeah, I was going to say that the rest of the run is very fast now. Once you get the sub-star like that, it's Fire Sea, throw Bowser, and then we go to the famous BLJs.
Yep. The
infamous BLJs, I should say.
One could say. Yeah, this is kind of the whole premise here of why we can beat the game with 16 stars. The endless staircase that I'm sure everyone knows as a kid. If you backwards long jump, which is where basically the game doesn't put a cap on how fast Mario can go backwards. So you can chain a bunch of long jumps together on like slopes or something that impedes his height. Build up a bunch of speed. You can clip through things, or in the case of the endless staircase, you can just kind of, I guess, trick the game into thinking you're at the top. I don't even really fully understand the backdoor mechanics
staircase, there. There's a zone on the stairs that if Mario enters it with less than the needed 70 stars, he just gets warped back to the beginning. So you have to get enough speed generated with the BLJs that you completely bypass it.
Okay, that makes sense.
There's a lot of like technical detail to it. There are YouTube videos that go so in depth on all these tricks and how they work. There's parallel universes in Mario. It gets crazy. If you ever want to just do a deep dive, I highly recommend searching up some videos because you will find hours and hours of content.
Yeah, absolutely. This game is an iceberg. So we got Niniste going into the first BLJ here. This one is, I think, a little more difficult just because the staircase isn't endless. So you kind of have like a fixed area in which you can start building up your speed. We'll see how this goes here for her.
Yeah, that
didn't
will not
quite
be
clip
it.
there.
And this is another example of the camera kind of being like one of the enemies in the game. You are always fighting it. Just resetting it here is kind of a pain. You'll see it kind of moves around. Lots of camera inputs happening. Oh, that is not enough speed for Niniste.
So close.
Clipped, but now Emmy is caught right up, so we'll see who gets it first.
Ooh, this is close.
This is what 16 star always comes down to.
Close as it could be.
Oh,
Emmy,
that is... Oh, no,
dropped
she
it right at
dropped
the
it.
end.
Oh, that's so close. Alright, let's get some hype for both these runners. Help them get some speed.
Mario's, all those emotes should be impacting Mario here.
Certainly.
Oh,
I don't think she would have had enough speed
More.
there.
yeah, it would have been close.
Oh, that's good.
That should work if she can keep it going, yeah.
Let's hope
Yep,
so.
she's-
Oh, nice. Alright. That's one of our runners through.
Mario, unfortunately, not agreeing with Niniste right now.
Right, Emmy just has to get this infinite stair one, which, like you said, I do find to be a bit easier.
Yeah, you don't have to keep kind of resetting yourself like you do with the other one if you...
Oh, she had a bit of speed there. Unfortunately dropped it. Oh, there it is.
Oh, nice.
Emmy is into bits. So if it becomes 1-1, I guess,
We got to do a 70-star race.
or like a 136 or something.
Oh, Nindy should have enough speed here to get through the wall.
Something good.
Yep, there she is.
Nice. Alright. Yeah, that's right. They're gonna have to do a tiebreaker race at some point.
He's
Ooh,
really quickly gets
beautiful
the second
DLG
Wow,
from
that was
East.
very
Wow,
good.
keeping it alive. Any mistake from Emmy could be dangerous here.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna come down to throws, I'd say, by the looks of this.
Yeah.
Wow, so close. That was super clutch.
Seeing like fast BLJs like this, it's always so crazy. Like, you build so much hype and pressure kind of going into bits like this.
Yeah, absolutely. Alright, Emmy into throws.
Oh, I've not seen this lineup for a left side from Niniste here. That's crazy.
That was
Oh,
really good.
wow. That was so good.
Just is pulling out all the stops here to make up the time.
Oh, Emmy,
Just
there's
misses
that
the
one.
first one.
This is a throw. Okay. Yep.
This is-
It's really
yep,
looking
it's
like
down
it's
to
gonna
throws.
come down to it.
That,
I think that's a hit.
yeah, that hit.
Yep, that looks good.
Niniste hits the first.
Oh my goodness.
Emmy hits the
Oh,
second.
Emmy hits the second. Oh, God.
All right, one hit away.
Dash regrab. Oh, Emmy's in kind of an awkward spot with that bomb.
Oh. They both miss. Oh
But
no.
Denise did too.
Oh, Emmy jumped off! Oh, no! And then Denise gets the third bomb.
Oh my goodness, what a back and
Oh.
forth.
The pressure.
Wow.
Wow.
And he's clutching it out after BLJs were not forgiving.
GG to Niniste.
Wow, GG's.
Good game. Emmy gonna go 3 for 3 here on round 2 though.
Both runners bringing their absolute A game. This was incredibly impressive. Let's see that regrab.
Oh,
Must be an ice-type Pokemon because I just jinxed it.
Oh, BlueBob.
What a fun.
If you are just joining us, by the way, we are Lifeline for Linear, helping raise money for fellow community member LinearC, who is going through some rough times. Recently became a single mom, and we are helping her and her son Ken get on better financial footing. So every donation goes towards that. ! Donate in chat. We also have an incentive open for our Sonic X Shadow Generations run later for extra Tokyo DLC levels bonus run. We need $2,650 on the marathon to get that unlocked. So go ahead and select a bid war option when you donate, but you also don't have to. Every donation automatically goes towards that. All right, looks like both runners have wrapped up.
GG Nini.
GG's.
My Hori, there's something wrong with it. That's why he keeps running off. I guess I need a new controller. There's something wrong with the stick.
Taunted.
It was very, very nice. At the end, it was amazing.
Yes, it was such a good race.
Close. Great race.
So close, yes.
Well, thank you all so much for being here. Emi and Niniste, please let us know where we can find you for more amazing speedruns and other things.
Yes. Amy, if you want. Amy?
Oh, sure. Yeah, you can find me at EmiBella on Twitch. I am currently maining 120, so if you want to watch any more 120 runs, you can come watch me.
And if you want to check, you can find me. If you are in America, you can find me every day on my channel, Niniste. I do maybe some speedrun, and if you want, I do some challenges, and sometimes I try new things like VR and everything.
Fantastic. And our commentators? How about both of you?
BlueBob, please.
Yeah, I'm BlueBob. I haven't streamed in about 8 months, but I definitely I do come back to Mario every once in a while. I was left off grinding for 138 in 120 star, and I definitely have unfinished business at some point. I don't know when I'll be back though, but yeah, feel free to check it out sometime.
And I'm Sabo, or Sabotage27 on Twitch. It's been a little bit since I've streamed, but I am trying to come back for a sub 2 in 120 grind shortly. So yeah, looking forward to that.
Fantastic. Thank you all so much for being here with us. Those were incredible races, great tricks, great strats, and two fantastic runners. So thank you all, and we're going to be moving on to our next run very, very soon.
Good luck for everyone. Thank you again.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us.
Thanks for having me as well.
Thank you.
See you, Amy.
Thank you all.
Bye.
for being
See ya.
here.
Bye.
All right, everyone, that was an absolutely fantastic race of Super Mario 64. We got 120 star and 16 star. Wow, what a treat. And I'm just so appreciative of everybody in chat who is here and sticking around to watch more Lifeline for Linear. We have got the Sonic block coming up next, starting with Sonic Colors Ultimate Egg Shuttle by Subaru. It is going to be so much fun. This is going to be a really, really fantastic run. And while we get Sonic Run started, we're going to have to get those donations started too, because we have an incentive open for Sonic X Shadow Generations for a bonus run of the Tokyo DLC levels. Metroid Prime will run through those as Movie Shadow, And not only do we get to see Movie Shadow, if we get that, but we also get to hear Keanu do voice lines for Shadow. Keanu Reeves himself is in this game. I want to hear that. We are just a little bit under $250 away from getting that unlocked. Every single donation you make towards the marathon will count towards that right now. It is a milestone incentive. So go ahead and type !donate in chat to get your donation in for that. And while you are donating, there are other options to put your donation towards as well, not just that automatic donation towards that DLC incentive, but you can also donate towards the category bid war for Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, which is going to be our run after Sonic Colors Ultimate. So that means you all only have one run to get your donations in for that bid war. Right now, Dark Story is ahead by $5, but I have secret word from the runner, Katie4, that they prefer the hero story over the dark story. So that means, chat, if you want to make our runner happy, you know what you need to do. You need to put hero story on top. Go ahead and scroll down and click the incentive button, and then click the option you want, dark story or hero story, when you donate. Once again, dark story is ahead by only $5. And while the runner does prefer hero story, I also understand. I'm a Shadow fan myself. If you want to see Shadow and Rouge and Eggman on the stage, go ahead and increase the lead for Dark Story. And every single donation goes towards unlocking those bonus Tokyo DLC levels. We do not have a lot of time for either one of those things, so let's start those donations now. Can we get $2,500 by the end of Sonic Colors Ultimate? That would be a huge help. Go ahead and donate with your favorite Sonic character in the message, or your favorite Sonic game. We've got 3 Sonic games coming up right now, so everyone can get their opinions in. I'd love to read your donations. Get them in with some love for Subaru, our next runner. It's going to be fantastic.